The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Presidential aspirant Ferdinand Marcos Jr. made his way to Marikina City to woo voters ahead of the May elections. Let's get more details. We have Marlene Alcaide reporting to us live on the ground. Marlene, good afternoon. Tell us the latest.
Yes, Riza, it is raining, but some supporters of the UNI team chose to wait for Marcos Jr. and his running mate Sara Duterte here in Marikina. This while other presidential candidates are preparing for tonight's presidential debate organized by COMELEC. At the Arms Corps compound, several retired generals met with Marcos Jr. and his running mate, Mayor Duterte. They gave the tandem gifts like this green and red UNITEAM shoes made here in Marikina. A number of Mariqueños also welcomed the Marcos Duterte tandem at the compound. Although it was raining, supporters clad in red waited for them, saying they are happy that the presidential aspirant is present. Meanwhile, the presidential debate organized by the COMELEC is set to happen later at 7 in the evening. Marcos Jr. earlier said that he would rather campaign than attend debates with the same old questions for him. He added that what is important is the present and what he can do for the country's future. Duterte is likewise not attending the vice presidential debate tomorrow as she has a schedule in Bulacan. Riza, a town hall meeting will happen later where attendees will be given a chance to ask questions to Marcos Jr. His camp will also cap off today's activities with a grand rally set to take place at the Marikina Amphitheater at 7 o'clock in the evening. Riza.
Thank you for that update. That's Marlene Alcaide reporting live from Marikina. Meanwhile, a member of an election watchdog says in a radio interview that the alleged breach into Smartmatic system is unrelated to the upcoming polls. Joining us on the show is PPCRV Director for Voter Education, Dr. Arwin Serrano, to tell us more about this. Dr. Serrano, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lisa, and good afternoon to all our televiewers and listeners.
Sir, can you elaborate to us more on this compromised data?
Well, apparently, all of us are also wanting to hear lots of information and much deeper information as what we have been gathering from bits and pieces of information since January, since the first week of January, when this was exposed by the Manila Bulletin team. And apparently, after all the hearings in both houses of Congress, we are all hearing about data coming from 2016. And from the very start that I knew about this, I knew that this will be coming from 2016 or even 2019, but not so much directly related to our preparations for 2022 elections. And as what was allegedly coming from an employee of Smartmatic, we've been hearing also news that what the team had gathered was personal information about some COMELEC officials and also personal engagements between Smartmatic and COMELEC. So those were not related really to our preparations for the 2022 elections.
Sir, Senator Amy Marcos is concerned over the quote degree, depth, and breadth that is supposed this data would have been released and is potentially, according to her, still publicly available. So is there a good reason for the voting public to be alarmed over this?
We should be alarmed in a way that the former employees of Smartmatic or even employees of COMELEC would be bringing this out to other interested parties. But again, what was divulged from that particular executive session is only information on personal matters. And what we are apprehensive is about the security breach of Smartmatic pertaining to their former employees. I hope and pray that this will be the last item for this particular issue, because we are really focused, and we wanted to focus more on the preparations on the 2022 elections. If those information were related to, let's say, for example, uh, uh, passcodes, or even pins, or even uh, other items that would really affect the security of the server of Comelec, then those things would really compel all of us, no, to really make this issue a more substantive and more deeper investigation. But apparently, what were mentioned were only personal items and personal circumstances. So those things cannot really affect our preparations for 2022 elections.
Mr. Serrano, speaking of the 2022 polls, we'd like to get your reaction. The COMELEC is disallowing candidates and representatives to witness ballot printing earlier this year over COVID-19 concerns. Your take?
Yes, I'm also bothered earlier, especially late last year, when COMELEC started to have those kind of election-related activities, and we are not allowed to get in because of related to pandemic situation. And after the Omicron scare in January, we presumed that February would be a lighter issue on those pandemic health protocols. And apparently, if not because of that Senate hearing on the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, COMELEC will not start to allow observers. As what Senator Coco Pimentel have mentioned, if you have election-related activities already, then there should be some groups that should be allowed to witness and observe those activities. So I'm glad that the new additions to the COMELEC and Bank have an open mind, and right now allowing us to really monitor and observe the situations there in Santa Rosa and also at the National Printing Office. Apparently, we also would like to mention here in your program, Lisa, that we're also the one who proposed that there would be CCTV in both in Santa Rosa and National Printing Office, so that not only us but also the general public would also monitor, because we wanted also an election to be transparent, and there's an added credibility to the outcome of the election.
You mentioned transparency. On that note, how about random testing of ballots? Do you think this is enough to ensure transparency? And would there be other suggestions, other measures that you would like to make?
Well, I heard about Commissioner Garcia mentioned that last night in one of his interview, and I'm very happy to hear about that they are planning to have a random check of the finish or good ballots. No, they are termed as good ballots, so that the general public and also representatives from political parties and also from us as accredited citizens arm would not think of there would be some things that we should be wary of. And I'm happy that because of that gesture, COMELEC is really uh, acceding, no, to our request for more transparency.
Well, thank you, sir, for sharing with us your time and insights. That's PPCRV Director for Voter Education, Dr. Arwin Serrano. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. PLDT breaks ground for its 11th and largest hyperscale data center facility. The groundbreaking ceremony for the Vitro Data Center was led by Chairman Manuel V. Pangilinan and President and CEO Alfredo Panlilio. The facility will rise in a 5-hectare PLDT property in Santa Rosa, Laguna, and is seen to be the country's largest data center by far. It is expected to support the needs of global technology giants and cloud service providers that are expanding in the Southeast Asian region. PLDT says the Vitro Data Center is in line with their goal to position the Philippines as the next digital hub and destination in the Asia Pacific. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. After a series of oil price hikes, Unioil projects that the prices of diesel would finally go down by up to 10 pesos and 90 centavos per liter this week. Gasoline prices are likewise expected to decrease by 5 pesos and 30 centavos. Though local pump prices remain high, the LTFRB has decided to reject a petition to increase the minimum jeepney fare by 1 peso. The board explained that it had to balance the rights of the riding public, who are mostly dependent on the public transport system, and of operators to gain profit. And during a mass rally at the Moscow Stadium, Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia will prevail in its conflict with Ukraine. Putin justifies the invasion, saying it was necessary as the United States was using the country to threaten Russia. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.